What's up, everybody? This is the Jedi. Jedi, what are you doing back in the United States? We're going to get to that. First, I want to dispel something that I was struck by when I first got to Africa. That for some reason, people that watch my videos think I'm some tall, 200 something pound dude. I don't know how you would get that from my work. I don't know how that would happen. I don't know how that would happen. I mean, I don't know how that would happen. But for the record, I'm 5 feet 8 inches tall and wet, about 138, give or take my eating habits and all that. I'm not some tall, massive dude. I don't know how people got that from me. I don't. Um, my brother in Senegal said that to me, and my brother in Gambia said that to me. And I just thought, have you watched my work? I don't know how, but it also goes to say that when you put yourself out before the public in any form, you don't know how people are perceiving you, physically, or how they perceive you as a person. So I wanted to dispel that. I'm not some 6 foot tall, you know, dude. I have a very nice figure, I think. There's a lot of people my age that would kill to have my figure. So I'm not ungrateful. Um, yeah. Secondly, I knew I would be coming back to the United States, everybody, because there were so many things that I didn't get a chance to do before I left. Um, some of the things that I still won't get a chance to do before I leave again, I accept that. Um, I wanted to see my grandmother's grave before I left. I wanted to visit my mother's grave in Chicago. I wanted to see my best friend in Florida before I left. And as a luxury piece, I thought I might get a chance to see some of you guys and meet some of you, even early on when I was still dealing with flight details. I even was trying to get a flight that would take me through Atlanta because I have people there who would very much love to see me and I would love to see them. So I played with that idea. But there was a lot of stop and starts. And probably the last, I don't know, because there was so many go, not go, no, no, yes, no, yes, no. Somewhere towards the end, I changed my ticket to a round trip because on a Delta ticket you have, once you purchase the flight, you have at least a year to travel. So that would have been enough time for me to originally to get to Africa, get myself established, and then at a time of my choosing, come back and do some of the things that I did not get a chance to do. I won't be able to go see my grandmother probably. That's more realistic than my mother because my grandmother is buried here in California, and so is my father and my aunt. But my mother is buried in Chicago, and so there would be a lot more logistics involved to make that happen. Um, Seeing my best friend is definitely possible because that's something that I could uh, be a last stop. You know, I could go to Florida and then I could leave from Florida back to the continent. Um, then I warred with myself once I got to Africa because once you're there, you really don't want to come back, you know. And I knew the longer I stayed, the harder it would be for me to come back. Um, then I began to think more in the 6 month range. But I already had the deal on the table with my Pakistani Muslim brother here to sell my Honda. that was a big thing for me because of my attachment to my car, and the extraordinary blessing and gift that it was, and specific blessing that it was for me from Allah. And I've shared that story with you guys over the years. And originally, I just thought, well, it's just going to go into storage because, I don't know what else to do, because I don't want to disrespect the blessing. What my Maker has taught me of the many things is when you are given something that is specific, that is clearly extraordinary, you do not disrespect that. So I live in the spiritual realm as well as the physical realm because the afterlife matters to me so much. It matters to me more than anything. This life is one thing, but um, this life has an expiration date, and the next one does not. And that's the one that I seek. But I also have another promise that I made to my grandmother. Her greatest prayer was for all of us children to know God and to find our way to heaven. And when I stood at her casket in 1994, or November 10th, 1994, a Friday, all that would come out of me is, I promise you I'll get there. I promise you I'll get there. I was just sobbing. I couldn't say anything else. I was literally being held up. It's the most devastated I've been in my life. So that matters to me. But as it, in the last, I don't know, probably month before I left, this brother was very persistent. And, we went back and forth in conversation. I told him about the specific gift and blah, blah, blah. But I began to get rumblings from the universe that this was the right thing for me to do. And plus, I began to come into my sanity and to realize that you're never coming back. You're never going to drive this car again. Why are you just going to have it sitting in California? Why? Well, I couldn't reconcile that. But all I knew is I need to hold on to it until Allah said something different. And so for me, this was my Maker saying something different to me, because it didn't feel conflict. It felt like I was doing the right thing. And the person that he is, what he expressed, about how he would take care of the car, what he wanted to do with it, and all those things, I just felt right about it. So, but then he had an issue in his family. His sister, I believe, or his niece or somebody had a baby, was going to be traveling to Pakistan, couldn't travel by herself, and something else. So it was, okay, we're going to do the sale before I leave, or at some point I'll come back and we'll do it. What do you want to do? We had that conversation. And then at the time that I already scheduled my flight, I didn't want to change it again. And also, I was getting sick and tired of being here, taking care of specifics and logistics and details, and my life is just decaying away. Adding to that is that my birthday was coming up in February, and I just thought, I'm going to be another year older, and I still have not left this damn place. I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go. And I wasn't thinking about, here we are at the end of March. So next month is tax season. I wasn't thinking about that. And there's some other personal things that I have to take care of, as well as things I will share later. I'll say that. And those will make sense to you when I share them with you. I hate to say that because I never leave you guys with a cliffhanger. If I start something, I want to tell you what it is, so you have to wonder, well, what was it? What was it? What was it? Just hold on. So there was all of that. And I need you to know also that the best decision I made in all of my confusion was that I did not give up my place to live. I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you now. I'd probably be under a cardboard box. But when that was revealed to me the strongest was when the Monday that I was supposed to leave, and I'm at the airport, and while I was on live with you guys, I was missing my flight because it left early. No matter what Delta wants to say, that flight left early because the flight was scheduled to leave at 9:25. So fine, I was on live with you guys. I was meandering around the airport. I went to go get something to eat, blah, 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 blah. And I was at the gate at 9:15. So even if whatever they want to say, at 9:15, that plane should have still been sitting there at the very least. But there was nobody at the gate. I noticed that there was nobody in the section where I was sitting. And looking at it online when I picked my seat and everything, I knew the flight was full. So why am I the only person here? Yeah, there was like a couple of couples that were there. Anyway, so when I found out I missed my flight, I was furious. But why I bring that now is because that's the moment that my fear was realized, or the ration that I had made before this even happened. Because I kept thinking when it was one way, then it was round trip, then it was one way, then it was round trip, then my nephew was going, then it was let's arrange the flight in JFK, the layover, so it will be time for him to get there, and from Buffalo, and then we will take the same flight to the continent, and blah blah blah. But there was this thing in the back of my mind going, when you get on that plane, you're homeless. I could not get over that hump, even if it meant I had everything taken care of, and I had to dip out on my landlords and all. I didn't care about any of that. It was just the psychological, because you must understand that back in my mid-20s, I was homeless, y'all. I was homeless. And you're looking at a man who has had to depend on just me since I'm 17. That's it. I don't have any rich uncles or rich grandparents that I don't know about. And I don't have family. You all know the story of my family. So I don't have a safety net. What am I going to do? And I wasn't even thinking about missing a flight or anything like that. Nothing that even that random. It was just the psychological of, you don't have any place to call home. You don't. Even though you're leaving to establish home, there was still that psychological of, you don't have a place to live. I couldn't get over that. I could not get over that. And what I want to say to you while I'm saying that now is that you won't have to worry about that. You will have a place to be when you come to Africa. My door is open, and I've said that a million times. I'm going to keep saying it until I don't have no breath in me. I mean that. I'm even more convicted about it. Not that I needed any more conviction, but I'm even more convicted about it based on my experience of what I'm telling you now. That feeling of dangling out there, you know. And that served me, because when I missed that flight, I had some place to come back to. Because they couldn't get me out in a few hours. That wasn't going to happen, because I'm going to Senegal, and those flights are only I can't remember, but they're not every day, and they're every 5 minutes, and you can't. So, and then Uncle was, I don't know what happened with him. He took me to the airport, but he's still locked in. My father used to always say, don't be a damn fool all your life. He's going to be a damn fool all his life. He's 81 years old now. It's nothing you could do. The record is on scratch, and it's not changing. And I don't know what happened. I paid him, to take me to the airport. I gave him $100. And he just, when I missed the flight, I called him. Of course, he's the first person I'm calling. He never answered. From that day to this one, I've not spoken to him. And I was calling him all that day. When I got back here, because then my flight wasn't going to leave till Wednesday. So now I spent most of Tuesday, because I didn't get back here till late that Monday night because of the jihad that I had to go through to get back here. And I was texting him. I was leaving voice messages. Nothing. And then after I did finally leave on Wednesday, the whole time I was in Africa, I called him several times. I texted him saying, how come you're not answering your phone? What's the problem? Blah, blah, blah. Nothing. Since I've been back, nothing. So I'm over it. I'm very good at closing doors. That has served me in my life. And so I'm over it, you know. But I share that with you because it's part of everything that has and is going on. Then I warred with, did I want to come back before Ramadan or after Ramadan? I wanted to have my first ever Ramadan in Africa. And I could have done that because when I was trying to leave to come back here, the flight was going to leave at 1 a.m. Sunday morning out of Senegal, and I would get to LA at 2 p.m. Sunday afternoon. Perfect. Then I hit the ground running on Monday. By Friday, Saturday at the latest, I've got everything taken care of. I can book a flight for Monday. I'm out. And I'm back on the continent before Ramadan starts. Well, that didn't happen because when I got to the airport, well, first of all, I'm trying to come out of Gambia. So I left at noon that Saturday, coming out of Gambia. It's 8 hours. So that's plenty of time to be at the airport in Senegal. But it's not because traffic. But then the ferry that takes the bus that you're on from Banjul over to, I'm just going to say the other side. And just as it had when I arrived, when we got to the ferry, we got to the ramp. After waiting in line, we got to the ramp, and then all of a sudden we were backing up. And this happened that Saturday. We're at the ramp, and now they're backing us up to park. That cost us 2 hours for the ferry to go over and do its thing and then come back. So now you're back on the bus. Once we do get on the ferry and we go across and all that, now it's traffic and all of that. And plus it's normal stops and blah, blah. Well, I end up at the airport at about 11:40. Flight's not leaving till 1. So I'm technically late, but I'm not alone. There's at least a dozen other people that are there. And I don't think they all came from Gambia. I think they had other various things that were going on. But it's 11:40, 11:45. So it's not even midnight. There's no activity at the Delta counter. None. There was literally one chick sitting there like she was on a personal call or something. Then the couple spaces down, there was a dude sitting at a laptop, and what I learned later was a supervisor standing over him. That's it. There wasn't like a whole rack of passengers and all this activity. There was nothing going on. And the dude was like, "You're late. You're late." So me and everybody else that's standing there is like, okay, and everybody's telling their various stories. I'm pleading with him, come on, man, like you messing with people's lives. You can't do this. They're very rude. I want to say this before I go any further. I'm never going back to fucking Senegal again. Period. I'm done. Done, done, done. I don't like Senegal. I'm not going back there. I'm over it. I'll go to visit my brothers and their family. That's it. I'm not going to the airport again. I'm not going any place I have to deal with official people. I don't like... my experience with every official person in Senegal was shitty. from the moment I arrived there, I was attacked in customs. I didn't share that with you when I was in Africa. I was physically attacked by this bitch who, because I did like this while I was staying in line. I just went like this, just did a circle because there was nothing to film. It's a cheap ass airport. There's nothing going on. I just arrived. I just came off the plane, down the stairs. I'm standing in a line. I just did a circle and that's it. I got up. They took my passport. They do your fingers and all that. Then all of a sudden somebody wants you to come to a room. And this tall bastard, this bitch who I don't believe didn't speak any English. It was the worst experience, you guys. I'm still traumatized by it. I really am. And I wish death upon them. I'm not changing on that. It was a big event. Papa had to come. It was a whole thing, dude. I was literally ready to get on a plane and come back to America then. Like, just let me go back to America. I'm over it. If this is my first experience, 5 minutes into being on the continent, I'm over it. I'm over it. I can't even tell you the shittiness with how they treated me. And then I was physically attacked. Physically attacked. And I was in a catch-22 because I'm just meeting my brother. I'm trying to be nice, but that's not in me when I'm being disrespected. Because the normal me would have done, this would have been an international event on CNN. And I would have gone to the American Embassy. I would have wanted a lawyer, press charges, and made it a whole international thing. I'm being dead ass with you. And I'm trying to tell him it's nothing. Like, and I didn't even record because when I did the circle, I turned it off. I didn't hit stop. If you don't hit stop, you just turn it off. It don't record that file. It was nothing. Then he wanted to go through my phone and all that. And it was just like this whole, it's hard to even tell it because you had to experience it and you had to be me. But that was some bullshit. And the fact that you're at an international airport and you only speak this bullshit ass French. Not to mention how enraging it is for me to be in a black African country where you're wholly speaking the language of somebody that don't even live there. And they're proud of that shit. They're proud of it. They're proud of it, that they speak French. It's the most disgusting thing. And I said to this dude, because I just believed he understood some English. I said, you're an African. You don't even know you're an African. I'm telling you, it was the worst thing ever. But I mention it because now this is what I'm getting again when this bastard is telling me you're late. And then he won't give me his name. So I put up my phone to take his picture. He snatches my phone. I'm about to go south side of Chicago up in here right now. That's it. You feel me? Sadly, I think my demeanor, people take me as too nice. People got to understand I turn to a fucking dragon on you in a heartbeat. Don't disrespect and don't approach. Don't do that. Don't. And so I'm having flashbacks of that now. Because there's no sense of nice or general customer service. And it was just like as if I purposely was late. Like, I just came from Gambia. So your dumb ass lives here. You should know what that's like, at the very least. I couldn't just get here presto, And everything that I tried for you to just let me on the plane, please, could you just let me on the plane? Could you just, it was nothing. They were pieces of shit. Then they send you down to some window and another little pixie down there speaking French behind bulletproof glass. Anytime you come across bulletproof glass, that means they're about nothing but bullshit. Because there's no reason you have bulletproof glass up unless you're starting shit with the public. That's it. I don't even really see bulletproof glass at banks all like that. At least not here. Let's in the hood or something like that, maybe. But bulletproof glass is very telling. That means they piss a lot of people off, and a lot of people probably want to snatch them up. So they weren't trying to do anything for us at all. No type of explanation, no anything, no human consideration, no anything. But let's digress, because you have to know that when I went to the monument, the Renaissance statue on my birthday, no less. Papa was with me. I put up my drone to get the shot that I ended up getting. Here comes some asshole out of nowhere. No uniform, no official anything, nothing, and it's a problem. So we have to deal with that for 45 minutes. And because of that, and because Papa had my GoPro and it was still on, the battery went down. So no footage from the monument, just still pictures. That's it. But it's a whole ass monument, and people by the hundreds are going past me. It wasn't hundreds. I'm being ridiculous, but there was people going past. While you're dealing with me, there's people going past that are going with phones and everything else. And this is a public monument. You think nobody's gonna come here and film it or take a picture of it? Like, what fantasy do you live in? And again, no English. So if you're gonna work at places where public people are coming from all over the world, the first requisite for that job position is you need to speak some fucking English. Period. The end. That's just common sense. Don't give me culture. Don't give me language. Don't give me this is how we do. I don't want to hear none of that shit. Or you need to just shut it down. Or it needs to be in big brochures. We don't speak no fucking English, so you're just on your own when you get here. That's what it needs to be. You understand? So that also with being attacked at the airport first day, now I'm at the Delta counter and this asshole is saying this to me. Now I don't know what to do. Now I got to try and call. And by the way, I don't have any service because I got a SIM card in my phone that was unlocked, but I don't have, I didn't put WhatsApp on it, and it's just for calls. I still don't know. Anyways, it was no good to me. So now I can't call anybody. But luckily there was a brother who had been on the bus from Gambia who when I got off at the place where I needed to get off to take a taxi to get to the airport, which is all this wrangling. I'm in a Muslim country and all this shadiness goes on. That was very, very disappointing to me. Maybe I had an over expectation of what the level of iman and honesty and attention to righteousness would be. I was sadly mistaken about that. But so now we're standing out there wrangling for a damn taxi. But he came out of nowhere. He said, "You going to the airport?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Okay, we can go together." And he spoke English. So, okay, let's do that. So it's all this wrangling with the taxis, and you can see they're shady. That's the other thing too. Like the shadiness that goes on, they just outright with it. Like it's like somebody stabbing you while they're looking in your face. They don't care. It feels like that to me, you know. So again, just believing that they may understand some English, you know, I was like, I don't remember everything that I said because it came out of me. Something to the effect of like, basically this is bullshit and y'all need to have a set price and just, I don't know. It was just more nonsense, and finally he did something and we got to the damn airport. And then I had to run into this asshole with "You're late," and he wanted to hear nothing else, no explanation. In fact, he stood there for the longest time just ignoring. And the louder I got, then he realized he needed to just at least address me some type of way. Because at that point, it's like I didn't have shit to live for, In fact, when I was going over to the window that he sent us to, the bulletproof window, somebody deliberately wasn't moving and purposely got in the way, and I shoved their shit out of the way. I go, "Don't fuck with me right now because I will kill you. I don't got shit to live for. Don't fuck with me. Don't do that." And everybody just backed up. I've never been more furious in my life because this is happening again, the place it's happening at, and the people that are causing it to happen. I'm not going back to no more Senegal. I'm done. And if I'm not with my brothers, I'm like a mute. It's like I don't exist. You can't even transact the simplest business. Nothing at all. You're completely alone. Nobody speaks nothing but French. That's it. Or Wolof. But they usually choose French. And when they speak even Wolof, they mix it with French. So, it's the loneliest place to be. The loneliest. Like, don't go to Senegal unless you know some French or you know some people there that speak English. Don't do it. It's a beautiful country. I didn't see all of it, obviously, but I'm good on it. I'm good. I'm good. That just left a really bad taste in my mouth, you know, especially for somebody who's never traveled internationally outside of this asshole. And to have this happening to you from Black African people who you have so much reverence for, not acceptable to me. Not on any day, not in this lifetime. Done, done, done. I will not fly into Senegal. If I have to pay $1,000 more to fly into Gambia, I'll do that, or fly into a whole nother country. I don't care where I gotta go. I will not be flying into Senegal ever again in my life on this earth. Know that. And as I said to the dude, I was like, you understand that I flew out of the Tom Bradley terminal out of Los Angeles. Just that one terminal alone crushes this entire fucking airport. Like, you don't have anything in here that's so, oh my God, we have to protect it and it can't be filmed. And you should have a working knowledge that people coming from all over the world, and their signs are all in French, by the way. I'm a very intelligent man. If you had some signs, just even a circle, a camera with a circle around it and a slash, that's universal. Oh, don't film. Just even something that basic did not exist. You understand? So it was very infuriating, and it took a whole lot for me not to share that with you when I was still in Senegal, because that's something you want to just run and tell the world right now. You understand? So because of that, I didn't get out on that Sunday. So now I couldn't get out until Wednesday or whenever it was. Wednesday, yeah. So that threw off all my plans. That whole week that I thought I was going to have, that can't happen because of these twits, you know. Like I said, the plane was still sitting right there. And what we saw was one of the other ladies pointed out that there was luggage that was coming down that little thing, that belt they have behind you, that was still going out to the airplane. So it's not like even, you know, I mean, there's just no sense of, forget whatever you got going on outside the airport. This is an international airport. It should reflect that in how you communicate with the people that come there, the things that you infer to give benefit of doubt. You know, if somebody comes in and their behavior is totally inappropriate, that's one thing. But and then Papa is, and then you don't know what they're saying. That's also very frustrating because it's just gerbil, fucking gerbil. But he tells me that he's saying to him like he just came from America. This, they have to deal with this with police there, and basically just trying to give the guy a sense of what the context was. I appreciate that, but in my mind, still, he should have inferred that already. You know, once he had my passport, you see, ain't no stamps in it. This tells you he ain't been nowhere. This is first time. I mean, it was just so many things, you know. At one point, I just didn't care no more. It was just like, I don't care. And Papa was trying to get me to just be quiet. And I was at war with myself of be quiet or just say fuck it all and just go straight ham up in here. Because it's already degraded for me at that point. It was just so, everything that led up to this, everything that I've been through emotionally, psychologically, physically, before leaving, all of that. Then this long, 4.5 hours to JFK, then 7 hours to Senegal. No layover in JFK, by the way. So it was a constant flight for me. Because when we landed at JFK, the hour and a half I was supposed to have didn't happen because everybody and their mother was already at the gate and they were already boarding. So that can't happen. So all of that, and this is the first thing that happens to me. Nah. And I'm not that man who walks quietly away into that good night. I don't do that. That's not in my blood. I don't do that. I don't need to do that. And all that does, everybody that bitches out just sets it up for the next person to experience it, whatever it is in life. I've always been a martyr and I'm not going to stop. You understand? Somebody has to stand in order to make a difference. I'm that dude. It's part of my life designation on the earth. I believe that because I've always done it. I don't remember not being that way. I've always done it. So that didn't happen. So so now I have to try and get a hold of Papa. Luckily, this guy that I told you came out of nowhere when we got off the bus from Gambia to get a taxi to go to the airport. Now I'm wandering around the airport, and it says Wi-Fi, but then you ask somebody, you go, "Is the Wi-Fi working?" It don't. It's not work or something like that. Just something very curt. And then also the experience I was having was, it's one thing you don't speak English, but what I have to get the stank look like, how dare you ask me anything and you're not speaking French. Everybody. There was one dude, because I had to take some medication. When I finally was, now I'm at the airport Wednesday when I'm actually going to leave, and there was a bar, and I just wanted to see if they have a water. You know, you don't know what you could do, because we're used to here. You go in any place, can you guys have a cup of water? Can I get a cup of water? And they either give you a cup of water, or they say, "Oh, we don't have it," or just something. But not this. Do you have a cup of water? What? What? That same thing with the Wi-Fi. Do you have Wi-Fi? What? No work. What? Like that. I'm up to here, y'all. I'm up to here. And then everywhere you go, you're one of the reasons why I nixed Senegal and other countries off my list of possibilities is I wanted to be someplace where they spoke English. So Gambia holds itself up as an English speaking country. Where do they do that at then? Where does that happen? Where? Where? Because everybody looks at you like you're an idiot, and like there's no just general sense of courtesy. Like, just that's universal from one human to the next. Or it's not. I don't know. Anyways, very infuriating. So, getting back here now, my goal is to complete the sale of my car, which before I left, I wasn't going to do the emissions, and because that was due at the first of the year, and I just thought, I don't need to do that anymore. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And the emissions and the registration, and then my muffler, the pipe that comes from the front of the car, the exhaust, into the muffler, that is detached. I don't know how that happened, like a couple of days before I left or something like that. I'm like, just random. And anyway, so the price that I had quoted the brother, I'm going to raise the price, because one of the reasons why I quoted him the price I did is because I knew he would have to get these things done. I'm going to do them and then just make up the difference in the sale. And I can take care of the rest of the things I need to take care of. Also, I'm going to be showing you guys some videos and pictures in this live stream, everybody, because this is the easiest and best way to do it. And among them, I want to show you all my x-rays, because for you all who pay attention when I speak and listen to me, I've shared with you over the years that I'm the bionic man. My feet are completely reconstructed. I have artificial heels. My heels are artificial bone. Across the top of my feet, the bone is fused, so I can't stoop the same way you could stoop in a flat foot. And then there's plates and screws in both my feet. So when you x-ray it, you just see all this metal. And because I went from driving a car here and minimal walking, I started walking more before I left, because I knew I would be doing more walking, but I was doing way more walking than even I anticipated, especially that soon, like on the ground, start walking, that was a lot for me. And whereas here I have, my braces that I wear sometimes, these Velcro, I could show you one actually, because it's right in my bag. This is what one of my bracelets looks like. All right. And it has Velcro, and it also has things you could tie, and you can wear this and still wear shoes even. So sometimes I wear these, and then I have a specific shoes that I wear that give me the most comfort. Well, I can't wear those there. I mean, there's many areas where you could, if you were on the main road, or you in, the city or main areas, stuff like that. But once you get off that, then you're on dirt and thick sand and stuff like that. And so all I could wear was flip flops, or sandals, And so I took a lot. Um, and I didn't really want to, because once people know you're hurting, then that becomes the focal point. I don't like that, you know. Um, and then people start treating you like you're an invalid or something. Not that, like that, but you know what I'm saying. Like, and I didn't want that. So, but I needed to, at some point, share that, look, it's some things I just can't do, you know. And among them was, and also, I needed to also understand if they have either my pain medication or something comparable to it, something whatever that would, you know, um, that will keep me comfortable so that my mobility can be there. Because um, once once it really goes, I almost need a damn wheelchair again. And but I also was looking forward to some of it, because I thought, well, maybe some of this mobility will work me out in a way that I haven't been worked out physically since my injury. And um I have muscles that don't fire. My mobility is not the same as it used to be. um you know it's common for Muslims, when we stand up, we make takbir, we say Allahu Akbar. And it's just something that you do, you know. But it meant a whole lot more to me, and I understood it after I was injured, because what it takes for you to just stand up, we take it for granted. You just stand up. It's nothing. Well, it's not just nothing. It's really something. When I was in my wheelchair for just over a year, I didn't know at some point you don't remember what it's like to just stand in your living room, and how tall are you to stuff. What's your perspective when you just stand. Um, anyway, so whenever I started walking again, when I started going through physical therapy and all of that, I had these boots that I don't think I have anymore, but they look like ski boots. And they're very, a lot of Velcro and air pumps that you pump and stuff. And I had those with a walker, and then every step that I would take, I would make takbir. I would say Allahu Akbar, because it's really something to be able to walk, but your mobility affects the rest of you. And certainly for me, my lower extremities. I always had chicken legs, like most black people. From the knee down is kind of over. But when you don't have the firing of the muscle the way that it normally would, because of the way you're walking, you don't get the firing from the muscle. So anyways, so that's also something I needed to work out, because I give thanks to my brother in Senegal, because his wife is a physician, and was able to hook me up with a doctor. They took X-rays, and they didn't charge me for the visit. They didn't charge me for the X-rays. He wrote prescription for medication, didn't charge it. I never paid anything. So Allahu Akbar. But alas, that medication is not. I don't think I could take that long term. And medication scares me anyway, because I always feel like everything's going to kill me. And it's funny, because I heard Adrian Bailon say that one time on the reel a long time back. I thought I was the only person that thought that. But anyway, it's just part of me. But anyways, that's something I have to work out. Um, I want to tell you this, everybody. If you're going to, I can't speak for all African countries, obviously, because I only went to two, but you, it wasn't until the last maybe week, could have been longer than that, that I realized, yeah, you do need some American contacts. Because I really wasn't interested in American people just because A, they're going to be Christian, and B, they're not people I would deal with here. I wouldn't deal with them in Africa. It's no shade. It's just like that's not my crowd, you know. Um, but I didn't think of them in the context of, well, wait, they may hold some information you could use, you know. I didn't think of that. I'm just me. I'm one brain. I'm not an oracle. I don't know everything. So I couldn't think of stuff, you know. But when you, like Dr. Maya Angelou used to say, when you know better, you do better. So, you know, one day me and Samba were out at this, it's like a fair, like a, we would call it like a flea market here, like a, I don't know how to call it, but anyways, it was very nice. You know, a lot of vendors, very nice. The whole way they had it set up, they had a stage, they had music, food. It was very festive, and we came across this one booth. I'm just gonna call it, but it was more like a like they had tents, like white. You know, it was nice, and it was some American sisters, and I was just like was over it, man. I just, you know, they were like, "Oh, where you from?" Like, I'm from Africa. I'm just, and I just blew them off completely. I didn't. It didn't dawn on me what value they could be to me or anything like that. I just was just like, nope, not interested. You know, when you know better, you do better. You know, but I do realize that I need to network with some Americans because for all of their good intention, there's things that you do need that. Like when I was went trying to find a place to live, you know, they will jumble a bunch of stuff off in Warlock and then give you a shorthand of it. I'm a detailed person anyway, so if you tell me something in English, I still want all the details. So certainly in a translation, I need it all, you know, and you're just not going to get that. And for something that important, you know, if it's just like a restaurant or something like that, a taxi, okay, fine, whatever. But I'm establishing a place to live. This is a contract. I need to be very clear about the perimeters, who I'm dealing with, what we understand, all of that. I need that, or I can't do this. And I shared with you guys how there's places I looked at, the places were a total disaster and people still up in there just squatting, and they literally tell you when you pay we'll clean it up. That might seem normal to you, but that's completely unacceptable to me. No shade to you. You can still have your standard and I can still have mine. It's not an either or, it's a both and. Like, I'm not putting up with that shit. Nah, because I saw places that were clean and ready and all that. So why isn't this, you know? Then the place I landed on that I was telling you guys about, um, the Saturday that I left was the Saturday I was supposed to go and see the guy, or see the landlord, because I didn't see the landlord, but you saw the agent, we're going to call it. That's what they call themselves. All right, I can call myself Oprah. That don't make me Oprah. And it was just the heist of it, you know. I liked the place, I liked all of that, but you trying to get $250 out of me for you didn't do anything. I always, what about, finish the sentence, what I always say, you don't get the credit. Somebody type what I always say. What I always say. I always say it because it's a driving principle. It's a constant in my life. And you didn't do $250 worth of anything. Samba, we picked you up. You took us to places. You turned the key or met other people or whatever, because you're not really sure. People come out of nowhere. You don't know there's been a pre-call to them because everybody's just not considering that you don't speak the language at all, so you don't matter. And then you get there and it's the whole thing has just been, and you're not part of it. You don't know anything. Then you just respond. No, I can't respond because I don't know what's going on. Then people get offended. Well, I don't know what to tell you. So you turn some keys, then I give you money for your fee to go back to your office. That's it. Now we go to the office, I don't know, day or two after that, and you're telling me that as a part of this, in addition to the rent, there's an additional $250 for your ass that you did absolutely nothing for. I sat with that. And the night before I left, Samba and I were talking about it. I said, I'm just not feeling it. Not feeling it. Not feeling it. Not feel because I was even more burned ass about this because it was just another thing in the string of people just looking in your face and fucking you at the same time, in my view, in my experience. I'm a sane dude. I'm not random, and I'm very logical. And it was just like, nah. And while we're at the office and you're telling me now about this, you're making sure you stress this page where you get your $250 US, which is, I'll tell you what it is in Delassie. While I'm waiting for this to come up, one of my good friends, James, back in DC, his mama, she cracked me up with times. Some he was on the phone with her, but she had it on speaker because I knew her, and something. I guess she was going out with some of her girlfriends or whatever, and she was talking about the outfit she was wearing. She was like, James, they can't take me. They can't take me. But you have to hear her say it. It's like the way she said it's like nobody could take her on earth. Like she's too much for everybody. Like she's the most, and they can't take me. So they can't take me. You feel me? They can't take me. They can't take me. So 250 US is 15,371 Gambian Dalasi. Nah, nah, nah. And you're greeting me salam alaikum. I can't deal with that. I just don't do well with that. I don't do well with that. I don't do well. If you're gonna have a service and you gonna get some type of a fee, I'm not against that. I'm a business major, but let's not be ridiculous. You understand? Let's not be unrealistic, and then just see you as just like some money bag or something. I'm not a wealthy dude. I don't floss, and just I don't floss. So wasn't feeling happy about that, but it also again resonated that that's why you need some American people who can fill in the blanks. So for all the well intention of your brothers and other people, certain things they just can't get because this is not their life. And they're decades younger than me. They're in their 30s. I'm damn near 60. There's an understanding divide. There's a whole life that I've lived on another continent that they can't understand no matter how well they intend it. And I can't understand no matter how well I intend it. Just can't happen. It just can't happen. So that burned me, and I realized that that's where networking with some Americans becomes important who are there, who have gone through it, and either can recommend some people or something, or maybe they have been there long enough to explain your point of view, whatever. Something else needs to happen. Even this last place that the guy wants $250 just for him. There was people up in there, and they were supposed to be out on the 23rd, so that's 3 days ago. And they weren't going to do anything until And then they want you to pay before they do anything. I mean, just like, in what life is that just not good business? Because that says one of two things to me. Either you don't have any savings or you don't have capital. Because why do you need my money to fix up the place before I move in? You've been collecting rent from the people that live there. This isn't your only unit. You're supposed to have a fund that's specifically for repairs and tenant needs and all this kind of stuff anyway. I don't need to imagine, and not only that, I'm not going to lose my leverage by giving you my money, and then the day I show up to move in, it's not you didn't clean the way I would clean. I don't like it now, and all this kind of thing. And it's not like it's, I haven't moved around a whole lot as far as places I've lived. If I've lived someplace, I usually live for a minute, you know. So you must also remember that for anybody else you have come to look at your place, that's one thing. I'm coming from America. Again, know something about your demographic when you're in any business. I don't care if you're selling cookies, or you're renting apartments, or you selling them pot holder. Who's your first thing you think about is who's my customer? Who's the demographic? Who is this for? I don't care what, if you're selling hamburgers, if you're selling lemonade, I don't care. This is the first principle of business. If you have a consumable or a commodity, who is the customer? Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? So certainly in property management, or you own property, you're renting properties, things that I would just immediately put myself up on if I was going to do this. Okay, I know there's an influx of people coming from America to the Gambia. So I want to try and corner a little bit of that market. Oh, they're going to speak English. Let me see what the rental habits are in America. What's the experience? You should learn that. It's just the same as if you're going to do chocolate. You got to understand there's going to be refrigeration involved. What's the viscosity of chocolate? What's the temperature at which it's going to melt? Etc., etc. Come on. I mean, I'm not alone in this. There's just some shit you're supposed to know. And if you don't, you shouldn't be in business. Go and sit down and let somebody else do it. Who knows? I mean, it was just, I can't. So, and meanwhile, I'm trying to stay someplace that's not Beverly Hills. Maybe that wasn't the wisest choice. Maybe the Beverly Hills is where they have everything ready and, understand that they need to get their act together. You understand? Because the very first place I looked at was, quote unquote, in Beverly Hills, which was like 500 US. That's Beverly Hills, but whatever. And the place was perfect. I could have moved in it that day. And probably would have. But alas, you're showing me a place that's not even available. Not till we get downstairs, and I hate the downstairs unit. I want the upstairs. Oh, the guy already paid for that one upstairs. You're supposed to know that before you turn the key for me to walk into it, because now I'm mad. I mean, I can't. I can't. Me, I can't. I can't. I can't. So these were all very important things that just left a bad taste in my mouth, But also, coming back here gives me clarity. I didn't have, or nor did I know that I needed an entry strategy other than the one that I had laid for myself. I didn't foresee and couldn't have known, but I also had already accepted that there's things you can't know until you're on the ground, no matter how much research you're going to do, how much learning and all that stuff. It's certain things you just can't know until you are there, and these are some of them. You just can't know. You can't know. So this time of clarity gives me an opportunity to take those things into consideration and understand what I need to do to make my entry more successful and on my terms, Because what I also realize now is A, I might have to just be in Beverly Hills, at least for some period of time, until I can find something or someone who, and I don't want to deal with any agents. Like, I'm used to driving around and you see for rent, and you go talk to the manager and they tell you all the information about the place. They have the key, they go up and show you the unit, you come back down to the office, you say if you want it or not, and that's it. Okay, fine, that doesn't go on, but I can't deal with any agents because these are just parasites trying to make a coin. I'm not mad, but I don't have coin for you. So get your coin over there. I need to deal directly with property owner. It's me and you. Because when I went back to the office and now the guy is making sure he focuses on that 250 US that he's supposed to get, he's also showing me, and he's 3. And then there's another 3-year-old standing there who he's telling me, this is the guy that you're gonna, and like now you're passing me off to somebody else. I don't like a lot of people in my deals either. You understand? I'm someone who's good with contract law. Do you understand what I'm telling you? One thing I understand, like my name and my birth certificate is contract. And it must be firm. We can't wiggle on that. And we have to know who is party to this contract. Because I'm not the most litigious person, but I will strike a lawsuit on your ass in a heartbeat. And now I'm in a country where I don't know how readily available that lawsuit is. Doesn't even have any power when you say I'll sue you. I don't know. You see? So these are all things that you have to think about. Your protection. How are you going to be protected if something is not as you need it to be? So when I turn that key to walk into that place, it needs to be what I say it needs to be, not what you say it's going to be. Otherwise, it's just going to find something else. It needs to be what I say because I'm paying the rent and I have to live here. So it's going to be what I say or there won't be any say at all. That's how I feel about it. If I'm wrong, you could tell me. I know I'm not, but you could have your say. So this clarity gives me an opportunity to not only understand what I need to do going back, how to strategize, what I need to do, knowing the things that I'm faced with, and how to find my own arena, because one of the other things that I didn't get is my time to detox. I need at least several months where I'm not running around every single day, where I can just be by myself. I don't need to talk with anybody or deal with anybody. I need to, what they don't understand there is the environment we're coming from here. They can't. And thankfully they can't. So there has to be a time, and the older you are, the more important this time is. If you're 20 something and you move into Africa, maybe you need a couple weeks. Maybe you're not really even bothered because you wasn't really aware of anything here and so just whatever. But you need time to let your cells settle and to, if you just was moving, if you live in Texas and you move into Arizona or something, you would need some time to just settle for. You wouldn't just like move to Arizona on Saturday and start your job on Monday unless you're an idiot. You need some time, and that's just moving to Arizona. So you move to a whole nother continent, a whole nother thing. You need time. You need time. You need time. And so I realized I wasn't going to get that time until I finally moved into my place. Then I would get that time. But before that, it wasn't going to happen. I went from I don't live with anybody, I'm by myself, I have my own noise too, I'm suddenly in a house with 6 brothers and a lot of activity, which is all fine, but I'm just expressing to you what was happening to me. Like that. And my life went from 0 to 100 like that. Necessarily. And so just all of it, yeah, I need time, man. I need time. I need time. And I will tell you that while the travel there was not really anything, And shout out to Delta, because even though I missed that flight on that Monday, my luggage went anyway. When I was sitting on the plane now at JFK, 2 days later, my disaster for a sister in New York was saying she was checking it online, and she said that she showed that my luggage was on the plane with me. Apparently it was, because when I got to Senegal, there was my luggage. So how nice. And but coming back was jihad, because first of all, I made sure I was at the damn airport many hours in advance, if for no other reason just to give dirty looks. And then they still started bullshit, because I went through all the securities, no problem. Then the very last one that I go through, I had this scarf on. My name is Abdullah. I'm a Muslim. You're a black man, allegedly. You're questioning my headscarf? I'm telling you I'm a Muslim. And you know what he starts doing? He starts trying to quiz me on how we wash for prayer. I was ready to punch him in his fucking face too. Not going to Senegal ever again. Don't need to. Don't need to. I saw the statue. I went to Goree Island. I'm good on the Pink Lake. I'm good on Senegal. I'm just good on it. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Plus, you can't talk to nobody there, no way. To do anything. Like, I'm over it. So, yeah. And then they had to take me to a room. Like now I'm in another room. Like, all my stuff has gone through, but what alerted them was because I'm not going through the x-ray. You can go through the x-ray if you want to. I'm just not somebody just falls in line because shit is there. You understand? You have to put up contests to stuff in life. Otherwise, you end up on the shitty end of the stick. I'm not doing that. And I've done my jurisprudence and my homework on those damn machines. And they weren't going to even get them into airports for many years. They wanted them in. But Turtikov, or whatever the bastard's name is, he's the head of Unical or something. After they gave us the underwear bomber, then they were able to get those in, because they always do an event to tell you need more security, but it wasn't a big enough event. So now, okay, now that's about money. They don't care. It's profit over people. They don't care about how much radiation you're being subjected to. So I'm going through the little thing, and you can wand me and search me up. I'm good with that. But just because I wanted to do that, that was a problem. Now they have to take me into the room and ask me a bunch of questions and shit. Fuck Senegal. I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm over it. I don't need to go back there. I don't need to. I don't need to. I don't need to. And no, that's not the whole country, but it's enough of it. It's the shit that matters, you know. And I can't. Even the taxi, you know, when I was trying to get back now, after now, the little bastard won't let me on the plane, even though I'm still early. I'm technically not early for you, but I'm still early enough for the flight leaves at 1 o'clock. Now the guy that I told you guys about that came out of nowhere was letting me use his phone to call Papa, and now we're out front trying to wrangle a taxi. And it's a whole, like, you feel like it's the Crips or the Bloods. You can't just deal with one dude. It's a whole group of them to come over. And I'm like, well, what about the dude I just summoned over here? Like, then they're speaking and they don't consider that you don't know what the fuck they're saying, and then you're supposed to give them your money. I don't work like that. I don't work like that. If you're getting my money, we do things on my terms, or we just don't do it at all. That's how I feel about it. That's how I feel about it. So if you're working in customer service or in public transportation in any country, I don't care if it's a country in Africa or if it could be in Spain, you need to be able to communicate with the people you're trying to do business with and get their money. Otherwise, you don't need to be in that business. That's basic. That's basic. That's basic. That's like you deal with a lawyer who doesn't know what case law is. Run from his office. Run. Run. Or he's never heard of the bar. Like, what? Nah. So, beware, beware, beware. Know somebody that you can communicate with. Because it's not just the communicating, it's the understanding. Because just because someone speaks English doesn't mean they understand you. I've made this case to you in my work over the years, you know, especially when I've spoken about Asian people. It's just words for them. They don't get your inference, they don't get your irony, they don't get your humor. It's just blocks of a puzzle. You say this, they answer with that. It's like you're talking to a computer. It doesn't mean anything. They're not inferring your humanity. they don't get your anything. It's just blank, 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 blank. So you need to have somebody that not only speaks English but understands you, you know. And the only the part where that really matters is when, like, you miss a lot. Like, I'll show you video today where, like, I'm in the taxi in Senegal and the driver and my brother are just yakking it up. Well, I'm not a nosy person. I don't need to be in your conversation, but you don't get a chance to experience how people interact, even family. What's their relationship to each other? Is somebody funny? You know, is somebody sarcastic? Um, you know, what's their mood? It just anything. You don't get to experience that. What their relationship is to each other. You don't get to experience it at all, you know. And so this was another example. This is an example of that. So, like, they're conversing, but I'm just filming, you know. I don't know. I don't get to experience that. So what is this driver's um what's his day like, you know, what's his demeanor, just nothing, you know. Like, you get into a taxi here, you know, just small talk, something, you know. So language is so important. It is, it is, it is. And but I'm gonna say it as two categories: language and communication, because just because you're using language doesn't mean you're communicating. So you need language and communication. And I'll add a third one: understanding. Language, communication, understanding. That's going to be our trifecta for today. Language, communication, and understanding. And for somebody like me who is a communicator and has been given the blessing of communication, I'm a very good listener, and I communicate well. So if I'm saying this, it should have some weight about it, you know. Yeah, man. So uh I'm we're in Ramadan now. So that's out the window as far as getting back before Ramadan starts. Forget that. But alas, Ramadan is, I don't know how many days it is this year. I don't know if it's a full 30 days. We'll just say it's 30 because I haven't looked at it. Um I will say, inshallah, I get back to the continent before Ramadan is out, um, because I I can still experience some portion of it, and then also the Eid al-Fitr, which, you know, is our celebration at the end of the holy month. Um, I leave it in the hands of Allah, but my mission now is to shore up the things that I didn't want to deal with anymore before I left here. Um, you know, because tomorrow's not promised to any of us. The next 5 minutes is not promised. And I just felt like you're wasting time, dude. This little shit that you're dealing with is not going to mean anything if you don't make it to that continent. It won't mean anything. And you'll be more furious at dealing with this. So you need to just get your ass out of here. Get stepping. And so I don't live with regrets in life, because I do try to take the time to iron out all the parameters of any decision I make. I've said to you over the years, always do that. That way you can live with absolutely no regret. Absolutely no regret. Don't be haphazard. It's one thing to be spontaneous, because I'm very spontaneous. You can be spontaneous, but you temper spontaneity with wisdom. That's the part people leave out. You temper spontaneity with wisdom, and then you go ahead and do it, and you have no regret. You understand? And you heard this long. That's awesome. And now this one's going off, which I thought that was still on Gambia time. I'm over it, because it still says Gambia time. It still has 11:30 It's not 11:30 here, so why not understanding? Anyways, um, so there's something to be said for spontaneity. Yes, be spontaneous, um, but take inventory. You know, that's the wisdom part of it. Take inventory. You know, and to be sure that what you're going to be spontaneous about, that you're also being wise, that you're not being reckless. That's what I think I want to say. Don't be reckless. Um, Temperate with wisdom. So I have no regret. Um, I did what I knew was the right thing for me, and I'm also in a better position because there's no more. I won't say there's no more, but a lot of mystery is now off the table for me. So when I return to the continent, it's a lot easier and a lot less stress, if any at all, than it was going, you know, because it was all the unknown. Everything was just information, no experience. And now it's not that, you know, I have experience, real experience on the ground of um, what I'm dealing with, but also how to cast myself in that environment, how to deal with the logistics in a way that serves me more efficiently and more effectively, and where I don't feel like I'm just being tossed around like a doll and I don't really know what's going on, you know. Um, I know who I am, and I've always been a sure-headed man with my feet flat on the ground, and that doesn't need to change. It's but I had just some disadvantage that now I don't have, you know. So this was a good thing uh, in its own way, and I really can't really see. Oh, I know I was going to say that the trip coming back. Why it was jihad is because I had to go to Paris because of the debacle on the Saturday night that I told you about. That flight was out of Senegal, back to JFK, back to LA, done, and would have given me a full week to get a lot of stuff done. But because that didn't happen, and then now when I got to Papa's house at probably now this happens at I get to the airport at what I say 11:45. Now all this debacle and you're late and the little bitch at the window and all that stuff. Now it's probably 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 or 3 o'clock, and he's got to get on the phone and communicate with the taxi driver about how to get to his house and all this. Finally get to his house. Now I got to be on the phone all night dealing with Delta, because what I don't need them to tell me is, yeah, you were late, and so you just have to buy a whole new ticket. We don't know what to tell you, because then that is now international terrorist event that I'm not trying to be insinuated in. Don't want to say too much. But so now I have to be on the phone. And luckily I got the right people, but then I fell asleep when they had me on hold. Now you got to start all over. Then I call again, and the whole wait before they answer. Oh, it was a nightmare, y'all. Anyways, when I finally got it done, they told me that I'm not even gonna get into that. Just now, you can't leave. Now it's not gonna be till Wednesday, and you can't. Was it Wednesday or was it the following week? It was Wednesday. Anyways, now you have to go to Paris. So I didn't want to do that at all, because why do I need to go to Paris? For what? That's out of the way. It's not even, and it's aboard Air France, and I had to pay, whereas with Delta, your seats, because I picked main cabin, you get to pick your seats. That's it. Well, y'all are working with Air France, so why do I gotta pay to pick my seats on this one? Didn't appreciate that. So now you have to fly. Only good thing about this was that flying there, I was able to be on the Boeing 767, which is a big bird, and it's amazing, powerful aircraft. In fact, I shared with you guys, it was either recorded or live. It must have been recorded to take off. And all I say was, wow. And then later I turn the camera and I go, powerful. That's all I could say. Because it was just powerful, dude. It was just powerful. Like, power. You just felt the power of that airplane was just powerful. But the one to Paris was a 777. Powerful. That's a powerful aircraft. Wow. That's powerful. Really something. Really something. Like, really something. Really something. I'm someone who loves airplanes and am fascinated by just that we can fly, you know. And I also want to say, before I don't remember to say what is in my mind right now, airline pilots have the most important job on earth, even over doctors. And they only edge out doctors because doctors can save your life and all of that. God love them. But when you think about the world being a small place, people being able to be connected and get around the earth, ain't nobody going nowhere without an airplane. You're not doing it. So, and doctors are dealing with one patient on a table doing a heart transplant or a brain aneurysm or something like that. You have airline pilots that are dealing with a $300 million aircraft, $300 or $400 million. You got several hundred people of all backgrounds and walks of life depending on you to fly this damn thing at 600 miles an hour at 40,000 feet very gracefully and get us there and be nice and land and all that. And they should be the highest paid profession on the planet. I said it and I mean it. I really mean that. I don't think there's any job. There's no job that has that much pressure. That's a lot. And the stuff they gotta know. I mean, you have to know everything. You have to know aeronautics. You gotta know wind speed. You have to know the instruments. And then you just look at an instrument panel of an airplane and you would just go, nah, I'm good. Like, nah, you know. They have to know all that stuff and pressure and you know, the engines and the just it's so much you got to know. And we just sitting there just, ooh, we're taking off, you know. It's nothing, you know. You start them engines and you feel that power and you start going. And they tricked me in LA because I'm thinking, you know, when they push you back from the gate, you go around, taxi around the airport, and you sit on the runway, wait for them to clear you, and then you go. Nah, I promise you, they pushed us back. They turned the nose, and the engine. I'm like, what, we going already? I ain't ready yet. It was really something. But anyway, so we went to Paris. Then there was a 5-hour layover in Paris, as if I didn't just hear enough French, where I just get them at Senegal. Apparently I hadn't had enough, hadn't had enough. And it's aboard Air France at that. So all the announcements, they come through with the bullshit first, and then they gurgle out the English after that and hope you could understand it. Yeah, not loving it. Not loving it. Not loving it. Not loving it. And then I don't understand time zones because it was enough for me to keep track of the hour difference between us, you guys, and me, y'all here and me there. Then the time changed, so now what is it? Then on top of that, Paris, my schedule said you leave Paris at 10:25 a.m. You get to LAX at 2:15 p.m. 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. That's 4 hours and a few minutes by any math. Why was it 11 hours, everybody? How did it become 11 hours? How does 4 hours become 11 hours? What time nebula did I experience that it's still 11 hours? What, I don't understand. I still don't understand. You know, they're like, oh, because you're going through different time zones. And all these explanations. I still don't get it. I still don't get it. I still don't get it. I was on that plane for 11 hours, and alhamdulillah that, it was because on the 777 it's 3 seats, then an aisle, then 3 seats, then an aisle, then 3 seats. It's a big bird. So this one, my seat was on the window. Luckily, there was nobody in between us, and I had a stinking Arab in the seat at the end. This dude stunk to high heaven. Wallah. I need, I have some tissue right here. This will work. The whole time, I'm not making this up, y'all, the whole time, because they gave you these little blankets, and I was doing this the whole time. 11 hours of this. 11 hours. And it still you couldn't kill it. It was just like, dude, do you know that I can't. First, I'm gonna see who's here. Then I'm gonna show you guys all of the remaining Senegalese stuff, so we can get to Gambia. And also, I'll tell you that in a second. Moon Goddess. Wait, I'm ready now, y'all. Got my glasses and everything. Hold up. Moon Goddess, shout out to you. I saw your name. I could see that. I couldn't see what you typed. Let me get these glasses going first. Not a flattering look for the Jedi, but we're gonna work through it. Moon Goddess, shout out to you. You say what? You back here in United Snakes? Bika Baggy. I've been living to say that. Bika Baggy. Bika Baggy. You say sell your Honda and get right back. That's what I'm trying to do, homie. You say Jedi, fun fact, I had a 97 Honda as well, that I got in 99. Funny, because I bought mine in 99. It's a 97, but I bought it in 99. I'm on my 4th Honda. The longest I had one was 14 years. LOL. And then hello to Jedi and family. Well, I've had Princess now for 23 years. 23. Wow. Good to see you, Mika, too. Good to see you. And I also want to say to you guys, too, a lot of you guys I was able to speak to while I was still on the continent. I did not have my phone on roaming, and I can tell you I was still able to make regular calls. I only found that out because I got a text or something. Like, how am I getting text if there's no what? But it depends on where I'm at. But when I'm at home, if I have, I have Wi-Fi when I'm at my brother's house, and so then I can call on WhatsApp. But even still, there I was calls I could get and make and receive calls, just regular calls, not on WhatsApp. Don't understand how that happened, but not mad that it did. Melanin 100, a big shout out to you. Don't nobody judge. At least he's been out in the motherland. Thank you for sharing your experience with us all, and hope that you take regular trips to the land. It's not gonna be trips. It's going back and stay, Melanin. And I want to say this. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I would have forgot to say this. Had I gotten back on the Sunday that I was trying to do, I would have just done my thing and been back, and maybe shared with you guys later that I even came back to this godforsaken place, But it's important for me to share everything with you, so this is just part of it. You say, you go on Melanin to say, but you look well, and you look like you've been drinking in the fountain of youth. No, it's just this good lighting that I'm back under now. Thank you very much. I didn't have my lighting with me. Cheryl Bryant, a big shout out to you. And this dossier that you've left for me. You say, I thought you moved to Africa permanently. Did you move there permanently? I'm moving permanently, Cheryl. You just go back and watch the beginning of the stream, sweetheart. Just watch the beginning of the stream. Um, uh, so that's your answer to most of this. Um, then you go on, you say, you look very good, very healthy, and very refreshed and well rested, Jedi. Well, thank you. I'm so sorry that you were mistreated in Senegal. Yeah, it left the taste in my mouth I can't get rid of. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I need to be clear to say that the family that I stayed with, my brother Papa, his brothers, their wives, their everybody could not have been more amazing and all of that. That's all fine. But I'm really good on Senegal. Really good. Really good. And like I say, I'll go to Senegal to visit them and that's it. I won't be going to Senegal for shit else. I mean that. Um, Black Beauty always. Big shout out to you. And you shout out the global family. Black Winter. You say they're like that. I'm out of context. Probably you were agreeing. Cheryl, you said Jedi thought your trip too smooth sailing. Proofread Cheryl, but I see that it wasn't considering that you had a hard time leaving out of the airport from Senegal. It was so much more than that. Go back and watch the beginning of the stream. Um, Betsy, a big shout out to you. Don't know what time that was. You just joined the chat, but anything you missed, please go back and watch because you guys need all this information. Adriano, big shout out to you. Haven't seen your name in quite some time. You say I wear hiking boots. They have come a long way since the 80s. They don't feel like boots, but they're boots. And I usually wear my Timberlands, Adriano. In fact, my whole traveling there, I wore my Tims. It's just once I got there, I realized I can't really wear them, you know. Um, let's see. Simply Sandra, I love you. I simply love you. Jedi, good to see you. Finally, peace to the chat. How's everyone this beautiful Sunday evening? It is Sunday, huh? Black Beauty, you say the Bag family talked about Senegal and it was not good. Oh, well, not surprised. And I was hoping to, at some point, maybe run into them. You know, once you're there, you kind of realize it's kind of a small world because there's a place that I saw, and I'm sure I shared it with you guys in one of my live streams before I left here. There was this place, there's a couple, they call themselves The Arrival, and they show these apartments at the brother had a place called Zion, and up above it he had these apartments that were for rent, and I went on and on about, oh my God, these apartments are everything, blah blah blah. Anyways, I went there. I was at Zion, and don't you know, when we went there, Samba and I walked in. Now, a lot of businesses along there, because they're doing a lot of road work on Coastal Road. So some of the businesses, all the businesses have suffered because of all the work that's going on. And then you have to ride on the side, so but that aside, we walk in, everybody that works there is sitting just over there, facing us when we walk in. We sit down, and it takes them forever to come over to just even find out what we want. The basic stuff, you understand? So there's a market there for somebody to come in and say, I'm here to offer my service of showing you how customer service can go and how this will up your profit margins and all these sorts of things, you know. And then when they come over and you order, they go, oh, we don't have. Okay, well, do you have such and such? Oh, we don't have. And then, of course, I say, well, then why are you open? Like, why are you open? I mean, it's just, I don't accept it. They're going to have to do better, and we should demand it. Not for us, but for them. We want Africa to be successful, all the countries. And this is one of the things you're going to have to do. But thank you for that about the Bag family, Black Beauty. Sandra, you say you don't get the credit if you don't do the work. Thank you, my queen. That's what I always say. That's it. You don't get the credit without the work. Black Beauty, Jedi, 250 US for what? I know, for what? Just to rape your ass. That's what it's for. You know? Sandra, you say you are not wrong. You are absolutely right when you are paying your money. That's it, man. If I'm paying the money, I make the rules. That's just the way it goes. Terrence Bowers, big shout out to you, brother. So good to see you. And your new thumbnail picture that I can't see even with these glasses. Supreme Goddess Nani, I love you so much. And I need to talk to you to find out how your situation went. Anjane, we must speak. Good to see you. And CJ Stevenson, a big shout and a kiss to you. I want to show you guys some video now, you guys, from Senegal. Let's see, how do I do this? First, okay, there's no glamorous way to do this, so we just gonna do this. Hopefully it switched over. It did. Okay. First, you're going to tell me if you can hear this. I'm going to start letting it play. I'm going to get up and go in the other room. Oh, damn it. Wait. And I'm going to see if I can hear it. That will tell me.
See what? Said these guys with motorcycles. There's too many motorcycle accidents in that car. Really? I'm not surprised. Too many, bro. Can you see the way they're driving? Yeah. Bro, too many. At least you can have 2 per day. At least. And deadly accidents, bro. Wow. Deadly accidents. It's, I can't. Because even in America, like, if you're on a road, like,
okay, what I'm not loving
down the center, if
is that it's not smooth. At least not on my end. Let me try on another device. It's not smooth. That's not going to be acceptable. Oh, nope. That's not what it's doing. Alright, let me let it play.
coming. And you have to be careful, like, because it's enough to watch out for traffic, but then you got to watch out for them. You know, so maybe you're just riding along on a nice day and you put your arm out the window. If you get it taken off, you're not paying attention. But we don't have the volume motorcycles that you guys have here on at any one time. We have a lot of motorcycles.
Yeah, I don't love it.
American home style.
I don't know what's the answer either, y'all. Well, we're just gonna try.
Bro, it's like the motorcycles, all motorcycles in the world have been poured in Senegal.
This is myself and brother Malik. This is one of Papa's brothers. Now, context. So, some of the stuff I already released for you when I was in Gambia. This picks up from there. So, anybody that might be lost, you need to go back and watch the previous work. Everything's connected. So, such is the case. So this now is me and Malik, and this is the first day that we're going to the military hospital to see the doctor.
All over the car. But you know, I find that across Africa, you know, all the stuff that I watched and studied, that's common, like from Dakar to Banjul to Accra to.
Okay, I need to make me smaller.
It just
Wait, y'all. I need to make me smaller because I'm taking up way too much of the frame. Because you can't even see Malik. He's literally sitting behind me. We can't do that. I need to go here. Oh. No, 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 no. I'm melting, I'm melting, I'm melting away. I think I'll pull me down to the bottom, which I'm not really sure where the bottom is. I think that might be it.
about any country I've looked at. I mean, it's all these motorcycles. Well, yeah. But more from these countries, maybe Senegal. We've noticed that we've noticed the phenomenon on, say, 2013, 14. By the way, I'm sorry, I'm actually on my way to the hospital. We went yesterday. I didn't film. I didn't remember to bring my camera. And so, oh, is that my song? Party man.
All right, let's go back to, I think I can pull my image down a little bit more. I'm just not really sure on this. Yeah, and still be. Okay.
You want the bamba? You want the... It's got the same beat.
Also, y'all, another thing that wore me out is I notice when I listen to any of this stuff back, I'm over enunciating the way I do when I'm around people that don't understand me. So I can't just speak comfortably. Speaking was work for me, you know, especially if I have to repeat myself. It's a whole thing, man. Anyway, so I noticed that about how I sound, but
yeah, let's go. And then that little symphonic piece in the back.
The value of this is I'm trying to share with you the experience of I'm going any place so that you could feel like you're in the taxi and you're experiencing it. That's the intention here of this.
It felt like it. Anyway, so I was going to get x-rays done yesterday, and it was just too many people. So we're going back again now, Malik and I. And hopefully we will get that done today. And I guess subsequently also find out something about the medication that I need. So I will keep you posted. I'm probably not going to do a lot of filming over there because I don't know French signs, and there's 2 military installations, and I don't want to have to kill nobody.
What it says, I don't know French signs. I don't know if everybody heard what I said there. And so, again, having flashbacks of the day I arrived, I don't know, I probably won't be able to read anything there, so I don't know if I could film, so let me just not film.
So I'll just film when I'm done, and we'll pick it up from there. Okay, I love you all. Okay. Wandering in the streets, carrying people. I don't know if you've seen that. I think some carrying Quran. Carrying Quran and then wandering on the street. Sometimes begging people to get some money. So we call them Taliban. We have some Quranic informal places in which people will learn Quran. Okay. From. So these guys will have a bunch of kids. So this bunch of kids will actually study Quran during the morning, and then the afternoon then they will be dispatched in the different streets of Dakar, and they will go begging for money and everything for actually their masters to be able to take care of them, to cook and everything. Okay. So that's already.
By the way, when I left, coming back, of course, I remember I'm leaving from Senegal because now I had to go back to Papa's place and stay there. Um, when they, when he, we went out to go get the taxi, for the taxi to take me, I told him I needed to stop at the ATM because I didn't have any SEFA to, or I didn't have enough or something like that to pay for the taxi. I said, I know, but I know there's one at the airport. So when he gets me to the airport, I'll just go into the ATM, get the money, and come out. Papa was saying, no, he's going to take you to another ATM on the way. The guy spoke no English at all. So Papa's not going to the airport with me. He doesn't need to do that. I wouldn't even allow that, quite frankly. So just nothing. It's like an hour to the airport. Nothing I could say to this dude at all. Nothing. We stopped at the ATM that he took me to. I go in the ATM, I come out, he's over doing something, he's trying to tell me to come. I'm like, nah, we leave now. We leave now. But he understood, like, it's a problem. So he brought his little ass over there and got in the car and we went on to I don't know what he was trying to do or what was going on. But again, another thing, like, you don't speak nothing at all and you're a taxi driver. You think you're just going to be driving French-speaking people around? I just can't get ready for that, man. I can't get to that. I can't get there. I can't get there. Maybe Allah will show me something else. I can't get there. I can't.
These people that we call Taliban. So when you.
So an hour we're driving to this airport. Nothing I can say is nothing. You can ask him about the country, who he is, nothing.
Type of boy that is learning Quran and that
Can you ask him his name?
Type of practice of begging bring back home for them to be able to cook for themselves. Right. Yeah. But Taliban also can relate to being the follower of Taliban. When you say, well, Taliban Murid la. Taliban Murid. Murid. Yeah, Murid. That's another.
Now, you're probably not going to get a lot of our conversation here, y'all. And quite frankly, I'm just too lazy to try and give it all to you. We're just having general talk. And I probably will just move this along, but I'm just trying to give you what I recorded. I took the time to do it, so you should see it.
Religious group. So it means I belong or I follow these religious group, which is the Murid religion. Okay. That's so disappointing.
What he was telling me about is these different Islamic factions, these offshoots of Islam, which we don't accept. But nonetheless, they exist, of these other so-called Islamic groups that are there in Senegal. That's was the gist of what he's communicating to me. And he would say, "No, they got to get together," you know.
In an Islamic country. Yeah. You know what I mean? For me, you know.
Yeah. And I'm just like, how are you in an Islamic country? They got this nonsense going on. Like, you know, I mean, I can't. But, you know, wherever you go, you got to find your own village. You know, for me, I need to be, I can't be around Muslim in name. I need to be around Muslims, you know, otherwise I could just go to a non-Islamic country, you know. It's very important for me, very important.
Like,
but I also recognize that it is for the Africans as it is for the Arabs. Many of them, Islam is part of their society, it's part of their growing up, it's part of everything. They don't cherish it the same way as we do. They don't. It's like somebody that's been rich all their life. They don't cherish $5 the way we cherish $5. It's not the same appreciation. They just can't. They don't have the experience.
Like, nah, y'all got to get it together, man. Like, scrap all of that.
Bro, we've been trying, but it's deeply rooted, bro.
Like the sunnah, homie.
Yeah, bro. Deeply rooted. I don't
Let me stop.
think
All right, we're going into the installation, so let me stop filming.
And some of these pictures that you see on windows, I feel like are some of these people. I know there's this one dude that he made me aware of that is, I'll tell you about it in another piece because it's just.
Okay, everybody, I keep forgetting to get waiting to
This now we've already been into the hospital. We've come out now. So I started again. And I'm now saying I keep forgetting to get us getting in the taxi or what it's like to be waiting for the taxi, how you get the taxi. I wanted to make sure I got that. I do eventually get that, but just I hadn't gotten it at this point.
Get the cab. So bear with me. You feel me? Don't trip. You feel me? But I'll just try to remember. But anyway, so I'm on my way back to the military hospital.
Oh, this is not even that same day. That first one was going to the hospital to get the x-rays done or either see the doctor. Now we're on our way. This is the next day. We're on our way back again. I just say it there.
With my x-rays from yesterday.
Yeah,
or as my grandma used to say, from yesterday. To see el doctor and to hopefully get my prescription. And so I can't film at the hospital itself without causing an international event. So just be advised that okay, check this out. You know that thing that's refreshing since I've been in Senegal? I ain't gotta see nobody's booty. I get so tired of seeing brothers' butts, man. It's just, I can't even do it. You feel me? Everybody has to have their ass out. It's just, and you be like, I can't even do this right here. I can't.
Brother, you made my day.
You hear Malik say, brother, you made my day. He got the reference as soon as I said it. I was like, another thing I noticed, I had to see nobody's butt. And then I started this whole tangent of like, here in America, you just have to see niggas sagging all the damn time. I'm just over it. I could tell you I had to see nobody sagging, y'all. The whole time I was on the content, I had to see nobody sagging. I saw one or two brothers that was trying it a little bit, but it was just that one type thing. It wasn't like, oh my God, here we go. That, and also you don't deal with no damn pronouns and people self-identifying as some shit. I'm over it. Men look like men, women look like women. You don't got to squint twice and all this nonsense. I mean, and let me say this also, the contrast of all the things I'm bitching about. This brother, this is again one of Papa's brothers, Malik, but all these brothers, very educated. You can hear obviously Malik speaks English, Papa speaks English, his wife speaks some English, but they tell me I speak fast. But I'm just saying these are educated people. Even I think Malik even speaks Spanish too, but Papa speaks Spanish just as good, if not better than I do. I mean, so I use that to say there's no excuse. So why aren't these people who work at public places, international stuff, these brothers have gotten it, you go and get it. Like, I mean, I can't. But it also let me know what a diamond in the rough they are, and that they were specifically sent to my life by Allah, specifically. Because if there's no way I could have been in Senegal. No way. Couldn't have happened. Could have happened. Could not have happened. Or Gambia, quite frankly. But specifically now speaking of Senegal, because we're dealing with that. Couldn't have been there without these brothers. Couldn't not have happened. Could not have happened.
Did you have to come up with this one, bro?
That's for
He
real.
goes, did you have to go up with this point?
That's one.
That's for real,
This
man.
one is there.
And don't you know, like even when I had my store, I used to.
But you can also see the traffic, y'all. Everything's a near miss, and oh my God, and I can't. But we're chilling. You don't feel no sense of danger, like, oh my God, it's an accident, because this is all they do. These drivers know they thing, man. I promise you, they be right like this, y'all. Like it's not even an exaggeration. Everything is like you about to get hit, and it don't happen. So they know what they're doing.
When the brothers come to my store, especially youngsters, I'm like, man, like, who's that for? Why pull your pants up? So, I mean, and usually they give that deer in headlights look because nobody ever challenges them. So they don't know how to act like that somebody's even saying anything about it. You know? Yeah, I had to see nobody's booty at all. Praise God.
That's crazy.
As the Christian folks say, give him praise and glory.
Man.
What would he do it?
Ooh, I'm dead. Oh. Oh, man, my jaws are. Ooh la la.
What made me think of this? I just saw some youngsters that, look like they're probably 16, 17.
Yeah, 16, 17.
And the brother had on the long galaxia with the hoodie out,
I'm very tempted to abbreviate this, but y'all just gonna have to turn up your volume and listen closely so you can hear our conversation. But also the value of this is so you can see what I'm seeing. I'm not gonna abbreviate it. We're gonna play it. Period. The end. That's what we're doing.
So he's still keeping it contemporary for his demographic, but still you see the Muslim.
Oh, you can see there. He has my X-rays there. Those are my X-rays that they took, and I have them here. This is that envelope. This is that envelope, y'all. I don't know if you're going to be able to see these. I don't know if y'all can see. Let me see. Can you see them? Oh, my image is too small. I have to wait till I enlarge me. All right, let me enlarge me. No. Yeah, let me enlarge me and we'll see. Okay. Wait, I got a delay. You can't see that well. Yeah, you can't see that well, y'all. I don't know how I need to hold these. Yeah. Just I got them. I'll show them to you. I got some. I got the actual pictures on here, so it's fine. It's fine. Let's see, do this.
Attire, and I just like, yeah, so that made me think about it. Because if I was in America, that same teenager, I'd be looking at his butt. And dirty drawers.
And them dirty drawers, right?
Then they
Shout out to you, Miss GNX. I see you, girl.
got to the point where it's,
And Deej, I see you, girl.
and then they do all these wild colored underwear that are not for men. You know, in my view, well, they're not for men. You know, you shouldn't have floral underwear.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's all you see all day.
All day, right?
All day. That's all you see, man. It's really something.
That's great. Bro, I think if you're gonna try to booty, please put on some clean. Yeah, put on some clean outfits, right?
You know.
Yeah.
And then you have some of them, like one year I was going to New York to see my sister, and it was the winter time, so it was like I took the Greyhound bus, and it was freezing, and it was this white kid that was on the bus. His ass was as flat as this door, and he was sagging. First of all, you white, so you double should be sagging.
Yeah.
And then you don't got no back part, so what are you doing?
What do you do?
You know, and I don't want anybody to do it, but if you're going to do it, you should have something there, you know. And then the other thing too is, and I don't know if it's something they're putting in the food and the water, but I've noticed over time that the men's butts are more developed than the sisters in many cases. And if you don't pay attention, you can, you know, sometimes you accidentally look, you like, man, that's a fat ass, and then you, damn it, but they already got you. You know, you didn't know. It's really something, man. It's really something.
That's something, man.
It's psychotic because, like, I mean, when you got dressed, you actually had to make sure that your butt was showing.
Yeah.
You know, it's.
I mean, that means right.
It's a psychosis. It's a psychosis. But I ain't had none of that. Allahu Akbar. Everybody got their pants pulled up. Allahu Akbar.
I mean, that used to be a trend in Senegal, right? With the American influence. So these boys putting on their pants.
Right.
Yeah. That used to be a trend, but I think nowadays, I mean, people stop doing this, right?
Right.
Yeah. They stop doing this, and then
Like I said, David called me when I was leaving JFK airport. When the boarding there was a tall Senegalese brother, young, tall though, but he was very hip hop, and he was trying to act American,
like the hip hop movement and everything. Yeah.
And of course he was sagging, but it, you know, and I was looking forward to him actually being on the plane. I was hoping I would have a conversation with him. Say, brother, you don't really want to do that because, you know, I know y'all think that it's glamorous and all that, but I want you to know there's a lot of us in America that don't appreciate it, you know. But they put him on the plane. And he ended up boarding the plane because he was out there yelling and screaming at them. And I thought they weren't going to let him board. Then later they let him board, and he was actually one row in front of me, right, like catty corner from me, right next to me. And then before we took off, one of the officials came on the plane, and they took him off the plane. So I still don't know what happened to his brother. You know.
Okay.
But I know that there's, I know that, a lot of the youth in Africa, across Africa, they emulate some of the hip hop nonsense they see, and it's just because ain't nobody told them it's not really fly. It's kind of like if you was wearing something that was old, nobody told you, and then somebody finally said, that's old, right?
Oh, right, yeah.
Ain't nobody really wearing that, so that's old, it'd be that type of idea. Like, let me just put you up on game and let you know.
Video footage yesterday. I was just tuning my TV on you. And I saw a guy actually with his pants. I mean, his pants was like, bro.
Yeah.
He was completely out.
Yeah.
Oh, he was naked, right?
Yeah.
He didn't wear any shirt. No. And the thing was, he was trying to quick walk and everything. So the guy said,
Right.
yeah, bro.
You can't walk.
You're a creep. You're a creep. Well, the guy was like, that is a good creep, and you don't even know how to creep walk, bro. These guys are fake creep. Yeah, but I was really amazed the way he was dressed, right? So you cannot imagine in Senegal, some people wearing, I mean, this type of wearing this type of jeans or that's you cannot imagine it in Senegal.
Yeah.
Bro, at a certain moment they would just say you as something that has lost his mind.
Yeah, man.
Bro, this guy walking like this and then this guy lost his mind, bro.
And
You might think that I'm actually in a trend, that's trendy, that's hip hop, that's everything, but people will look at you, man, bro. You might be, man. You might have lost your mind, bro. Yeah. Let me call the ambulance. They need to take you to the. Yeah.
And before I left the East Coast of America in 2003, in Baltimore, they had even stopped, well, at least up at Malcolm X Park. They were up there sagging with not even underwear on, so they just had their naked booty out. I just thought, this is the end of the earth right now. This is the end. Where are the locusts?
Naked booty out.
Yes, wallahi. There it was.
Bro, when you say, bro, didn't some, I mean, underwear.
This was the next level.
Please.
I didn't see it anyplace else, but I saw it in Baltimore. These are Carmack.
Yeah, Carmack.
And I could tell you, you see people like in the streets and all that, like the traffic is so congested, so people be out there selling everything. You can really come up if you just wanna, you don't even want to go to the market or something. You just drive and come up on a bunch of stuff: food, snacks, merchandise, kitchenware, stuff for your car, whatever. They be out there doing it. And young people, like, they're not sitting on their ass doing nothing. That's one of the things I had great respect for. I mostly saw young people, man, which I told you guys, the continent as a whole, most of the population of the continent of Africa is under the age of 30. So young people doing everything. Most places you go, you're gonna deal with like a 3-year-old doing something. You feel me? Like, these are young brothers out there in the street. And sisters.
Yeah, dude.
Ridiculous.
And my thing is, I don't know how they keep their pants up. Like, what are they doing that they don't fall down? How are you keeping it up? Do that.
That's a whole logistic, bro.
That's a whole thing. I gotta find out how they
You
keep their
gotta find
pants
out,
up.
bro.
How come your pants aren't slipping off of you if you not have them up? Oh.
People just crossing. Here it's like, beware pedestrians. They have the right of way. You do not have the right of way as a pedestrian in Gambia or in Senegal.
And secured around your waist.
Mm-hmm. That's art, bro.
And somebody, I forget who it was, I think it was, somebody said that they end up with hip.
I do hate that the glare on the windshield is not translating well on the camera. That's the other thing that I realized that this time back here I need to do is there's other equipment that I need to buy, because also there's no mail, everybody. There's no mail, and there's definitely no Amazon delivery happening. That you're not getting that. So there's some things, and among them, I need to get another GoPro and probably another camera that's going to give us some better quality, definitely.
Problems later in life from that.
Because of the way they walk.
Yeah.
You can't always sustain your fans. I'm making sure they don't fall.
Now, this is everything to me. I think I get a shot of this. This sister. I didn't see no screaming babies in Gambia or in Senegal. Just didn't see it. And it's something about even the way these women carry these babies around like that. I've seen them when they put the baby back there and then tie it. In fact, we were sitting in the hospital. I saw a sister do her baby. It's something about that just keep the baby content some type of way. They be back there just chilling, you know? It's no, I didn't see no unruly kids. I didn't see no screaming babies. No temper tantrums from little kids. I didn't see none of that, man. And these sisters, and I don't know if I have any of these, what we're going to see today, but these sisters just walking around with pounds of stuff on their head. They be on phones, they having conversations, they looking around. It's nothing. It's like, it's a magical act that they're able to balance this stuff on their head and not be walking like, wait, don't walk into me. Don't walk into me. You don't do none of that. They just chilling. That's magic. Nothing less than magic.
And it started in the prisons in America.
I can't believe I'm still lecturing about this damn issue of sagging. Like, shut up, Jedi. Damn.
It used to be for your, if you're in prison for your sagging like.
But you must remember too, there was a lot of these incidental conversations I didn't get to have with a lot of people because there's no language, you know. Malik speaks perfect English, understands, it's no problem, it's whatever. So you could just have just incidental conversation about anything, you know.
That it was to let other inmates know you were down to violate, you know. That's where.
Yeah, I want her. I want her to start, right?
Yeah. And then it just became a fashion trend. You know, it used to be even that retail stores, clothing was not sold in oversized. You know, it's extra small, small, medium, large, extra large, 2X, 3X, stuff like that. Just regular sizes. But we actually influenced the entire fashion industry with the oversized clothing. You know, it got to a point where you couldn't find anything that was normal size. Everything was oversized.
So this is a little long, and I'm sure I didn't film the entire trip, but I filmed the majority of it because I told you this. I've been saying this for years. People don't show, like, okay, they just tell you they're going someplace, and then next part of the video, either they went already and tell you about it, or they're there where they went. I told you I need to show you who are you riding with? What's the car like? What are you seeing along the way? How'd you get there? All of that. I'm showing you exactly what I said I was going to do. I keep my word.
You know, that became the norm. They do whatever we influence. But African folks in America need to learn across said I asked her to learn how to monetize our own lives, make money on our own existence. Because everybody is profiting on our very existence. The fact that we exist, they make money. They make money. Well, making money on blackness.
What are well, you got some black dudes in America that actually succeeded in life, right? Basically in the hip-hop movement, basketball, sports, and everything. So what actually did they do to give back to the black community?
And I believe that there is it's something that they sign or somebody to get them to a room. Something must go on, man. Because you look at how many generations since I've been alive, there's nobody, there's not a single entertainer in any field or any fame, whether it's business, sports, film, just any rich black people. There's not a single one that has done anything for African people.
I'm making the case that we don't have any, because they understand there's a lot of wealthy black people here, a lot of famous black people, and I'm making the case that we don't have any of them that do or have done anything for us at all. There's no major development, there's no industry, there's no manufacturing, there's no anything, just nothing. Nothing. None of them have done anything for us at all. Nothing at all.
Nobody has like okay, we're arriving at the military hospital. There's no like chain of supermarkets or housing developments or businesses. Still forgot to get us getting in the cab and hailing the cab.
So now we're done, and now we're back at the taxi, and I'm apologizing because I still didn't get us hailing the cab or us getting in the cab, and it's important for me that I show that.
Whatever. Anyway, this is Abdullah on the way back from the doctor. He did the dissertation of the x-rays and wrote...
Yeah, he did the dissertation on the x-rays because now we took the x-rays back because we had to go to some place to have the x-rays done. And then we brought them back to him. He put them up on the board. He was examining them. He is the one that offered and said, do you want to have x-rays done? And I just thought, yeah, I haven't been x-rays since 2010. But I also thought the value of having another doctor, specifically an African doctor, look at the x-rays and do a dissertation because I wanted him to tell me what he thought of the work that was done. But he said without seeing the original injury x-rays, he couldn't evaluate the work. But at least I tried.
The prescription for the medication. So Allahu Akbar for that. And now we're on our way back to the crib.
So he gave us the prescription for the medication, but we're on our way back to the house.
Notice that. Are those almonds? Or pecans or something?
I think it's petit cola. I don't know how you call it. Matthew, would you like some?
I'm not going to do it now while we're moving. Otherwise, I probably would have. I have some coin, but I don't know what it's worth.
No, I got some.
Some suffer coin.
500 sefer. Let me pay for it.
No.
No, let me get some, bro. Oh. Bro, you okay, bro? Money?
Oh, it's fine. Then I just need 5 of these. Yeah, I'm good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are 100 each, right? Ain't these 100 each? Yeah, it's okay. So that's 500. You can take it. Keep it.
Oh, I bought cashews.
Brother, you want to deprive me from the hatanat, bro? Bro.
Yeah, bro.
I was trying to buy the cashews, and Malik was saying, "No, I'll get them." I'm like, "No." He was like, "You're trying to rob me of the hasana." These are the blessings that you seek as people, hopefully, but as Muslims, certainly, the good that you do in life is you're seeking the blessing of Allah, not the attention of or to impress anybody or the person that you might be benefiting or whatever. We're just seeking the glory of Allah. Remember, it's all about the hereafter, everybody. It's not about this life. It's not. Have a good life, enjoy your life and all that stuff. Have fun. But this is not the goal. Just remember that. Just remember that.
Bro, let me take them hatanat, bro. Let me take them, bro.
Like, you getting in the way of my hatanat, man.
Bro, let me take
You feel me?
Bro, let me take some, bro.
Man, you making life difficult for me. Feel me? You put on my junk.
Let me get some, bro.
Man, I can't work like this. You feel me? Okay.
And I saw a lot of taxis with this American-looking thing, sort of Liberty Bell looking, whatever it is. I don't know what that is. I can't really tell you. Just I thought I would point that out.
La Trafic is there.
Traffic. It's John.
But because our driver is the bomb and he can do anything, it's no problem. I see a lot of off-brand cars too, just off-brand. Like, I don't know what they are. It's just a car, but it's like, I never heard of it. Like that Peugeot, okay, I know that name, but we haven't seen that car in America in many decades. A Peugeot.
Yeah, Peugeot.
You feel me? Then there's...
But that GL,
oh yeah, well we know what that is.
450 Mercedes, bro.
Yes.
Top notch. See the GLE IMG GLE 60.
For
G3S Mercedes
50.
Yeah. So
GLE
this 450, and then there's
oh, I didn't see the other one over there.
63S GLE.
The gray one, I didn't see that one. Okay, my bad.
State of the art, bro.
Nothing like that German engineering. And Mercedes is the creme de la creme.
Creme de la creme.
La pièce de résistance.
Yeah.
Now, you just saw somebody in a wheelchair right there. I promise you, I probably saw 4 wheelchairs the entire time I was in Africa. I think it was 4. It could have been 3.
The Mercedes 2 4matic. Most of our cars are either French or
Japanese, yeah.
French or Japanese. French, Japanese, and German.
Yeah.
Some of them American cars start being imported now with the Ford. You can find
FJG. French, Japanese, or German.
A lot of Fords also are being imported now.
Ford.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, a lot of them.
A lot of them. That is true.
A lot of them.
Those motorcycles are treacherous.
And you can find some old French cars, like Adventure.
Whatever that is.
Renault R21.
Wow.
So old
Renault.
So that's
wow.
And by the way, Malik is like the fly guy of the crew, but Momo, the youngest one, that's the fashion model. I don't think I have any video of Momo, but I definitely got some still shots of him. That brother is, first of all, Africans outdress us anyway. I don't care what they wearing. They just outdress us. They just do. We just have to accept that. All right. It's nothing we could do. All right. So don't even try. But Momo's fashion game is just like death, dude. Death. That's like the highest compliment I could get because death is final. So when I say something is death, that means it's not anything else you could put on that that's going to outdo it. It's death. It's death. And I think Malik gets second place overall for fashion.
It's been a minute, sir.
Papa's no slacker. But if I'm giving out the awards, just overall, just swag, you feel me?
That name.
Oh,
Yeah.
The Renault.
got the Renault at 29. Renault 19. So this is very old, bro. Renault 19.